Okay, so today I am going to be wrapping a BMW 1 Series today in VinylFrog. I noticed that there is absolutely zero videos out there online describing how to wrap with VinylFrog, even though there is countless advertisements on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere for VinylFrog, and nobody knows how to use it. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me saying, hey, I just bought VinylFrog and I absolutely did not know how to wrap it because it really wraps differently from how normal, 3M, Avery, even, the notorious cheap Cheetah Wrap. They all wrap actually quite differently, have different styles. So today I'll be kind of going over that and showing how I'll be doing a quarter panel, and hopefully that'll help out with some insight for everyone else out there. So to put it in perspective, we have Tech Wrap, for example. That is a polymeric, pressure-sensitive material. So it is somewhat similar to what VinylFrog is, where the tack is a lot higher than normal. For example, 3M and Avery, they are cast materials, so meaning that they're a little bit thinner. So VinylFrog is definitely kind of on the line of where Tech Wrap is, but just a little bit lower than Tech Wrap because it's a little bit cheaper quality. And I mean, from what I know, the company is somewhere in China, and that's about it. There is a couple pros and cons for VinylFrog. Some of the pros is it's definitely got a lot of colors. It's got such a high gloss to it that it almost kind of reminds me of Inositech, which Inositech, out of all of the vinyl film products out there, is the most glossiest. So definitely a pro for that. It is also I don't remember what the other pro is. Oh, the other pro is definitely that it also shrinks on itself. So it is a pre-stretched material on the roll, meaning that when you actually lay it cold, for example, it'll go ahead and shrink to the edges and kind of like wrap itself around, unlike most cast material films. Definitely the cons for it is, unfortunately, it scratches really, really easily, and it leaves a lot of adhesive lines. And I actually don't know how to necessarily fix the adhesive line problem, because I've been trying a couple different techniques, and sometimes it works and it'll be consistent. Other times I'm still doing that same technique and it is still leaving lines. So I don't know, maybe somebody can help me in the comment section below explaining maybe there's some random trick to it. But yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so I have the quarter panel piece laid out completely. It was a fairly large piece that I had to pretty much just cut out. But one thing that will definitely help in the long run is trimming everything out. And I like to leave a little bit of bleed on pretty much all the corners all around, so that I make sure I have enough material covering, just in case if the material shifts a little bit, or something happens. But anyway, so I have it all trimmed out right now. What we're gonna do is I'm leaving the little release liner on top of it. One thing that's gonna help is prevent the scratches, because if you look closely, this is how the material acts when you scratch it a little bit, or just even going with a squeegee. So having a new fresh padding on a squeegee will help, but really, I mean, just slightest movement, it'll start scratching this material. That's unfortunately how the price you pay for cheaper material. And then the other thing is, the way that I'm going to start wrapping right now is I'm going to start by sections. I have the backing still on it. And that one thing that it'll help with the whole process in general, because that way the material's not sticking too soon and you're not fighting trying to, rip it off. It really has high tack. That's one thing everyone should be prepared for when they're dealing with VinylFrog. So we're going to go ahead and start. I personally am going to start with the bottom. So what I'll do is I'll trim out the back piece of the backing paper from underneath, and I'll start peeling it off a little bit, and I'll just start tacking it here. And then we'll just go from there, and you guys will see the process of how I work with VinylFrog. Okay, so now that we're about to start, one thing I like to do is I'll go ahead and wipe off underneath the vinyl since the backing is still on. It's lightly staticky. Actually, not even lightly. What am I kidding? It's really staticky. So it kind of sucks up a lot of dirt and debris. Most of the time, I like to have a tack cloth, but I don't know. I think I lost my tack cloth. So a slightly damp, not even damp, but just I sprayed a little bit of detail on it, and it should kind of pick up some of the dirt. It'll do for now. This is our friend's drift car, so you know it's gonna get beat up if anything. Okay, so now that we have that, I will go ahead and peel off this random spot. You can see how the actual release liner doesn't really like to stick to the vinyl itself. Normally, normal release liner, I feel like it's a lot more better.
You know what you should have done?
What?
For this?
What?
Should have got your nails done.
Listen. Listen. What is this, a beauty vlog or is this a vinyl wrap?
What? You gotta be a hand model if you're installing vinyl.
I guess. I could wear another glove.
There's guys out there that would be into it. You know that, right?
No.
Should I include that in the video?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have you just hold this up for me for a second here while I try and figure this shit out. Okay. There's that. And I have this tool. This is like my favorite tool ever. It pretty much has a little stopper so I don't like cut into the paint, or better yet into the vinyl itself. So I'll show you how I trim it. Okay, so oops, hold it up right here, kind of in the center. Yep, perfect. Okay, so I get underneath here, I fight the material, and I try and make sure I can line it up to this highest point right here. What I'll do is I'll just hook it in there, and I'm gonna pull it back. Voila, and just like that. Now you have a nice cut, which doesn't quite line up to the line, but it's fine. So now we're gonna let this fall down. Let it fall down and make sure to kind of peel on the drag paper here. Okay, there you go. Okay. So I think I might end up actually taking off this protective layer because it's being a little weird right now. But you kind of want to make sure that no obvious fingers are in this initial tack point. That way it won't ruin the rest of your squeegeeing. So we're going to go ahead and peel this off. So, anyway, normally most vinyl wrap companies, they have a lot better tap sheet. Tap sheet, that's what it's called. I forgot what they're called. Now that that atrocity is out of the way, you can see how really glossy it is. But sometimes these fingers don't want to come out because for air release, the air release in it is a little bit not quite as well developed. Right now it's actually, all the bubbles are coming out really well, so. But it still kind of leaves random little lines. I don't know if you could see it, but those are the little adhesive lines I'm talking about. So as we're going to be going down the whole panel, you'll start seeing where even in spots where there's no tension, no nothing, it'll just randomly have a line.
Yeah, I can see it in camera.
Oh damn. Hell yeah.
You can see right here more.
Nice. Yeah, all the little random lines. Okay. So as for this part, normally you'd want to wrap this around right away and have it all glassed out, but because this is not your regular 3M material or Avery or whatever, you won't wrapping all around here is going to be a bad idea. It'll kind of screw you up in the beginning. So we kind of just start moving the material out this way and this way to make sure the fingers are not going to be in your way. So peel back the liner again, and off we go. See how hard the tack is? That's what we've been dealing with. You kind of want to keep slight tension too. I've noticed that helps. Just making sure that no fingers get stuck or the material doesn't stick right away, because you don't want to just randomly tacking while you're trying to squeegee, because all those bubbles are not going to go away for you. Okay, turn back a little bit more. Okay. Actually, we'll probably another tip definitely is to have an extra person when you're doing this. It'll definitely help you, because trying to do this material with just by yourself is pretty difficult, not gonna lie. Okay. So now we just pretty much move back and forth. You don't want to rush this at all. If you try and rush this and just try and glass it out, it'll seriously ruin the day for you. Trust me, I have tried. Okay. Bring the fingers in here. All this little speckling, that's the random paint that like kind of molded together from the tire, as this is a drift car, and all the hot tire ate away at it. Okay, so that was a little relief cut. That relief cut will help me bring more of the material out here without trying to pull it all from there. So I'm gonna keep bringing in these fingers. And as you can tell, I have not used heat at all yet. Like this. There's hair.
Looks like a blonde hair, huh?
I wonder who that might be from. Who are you seeing? What blonde woman are you seeing?
Ellie Goulding.
Wow. Oh, that's right, your ex-wife. Okay. So now that that's fixed, actually, because I lifted it up a little bit, I kind of want to make sure I heat this. Just this section right here, as you can see that it creased a little in there, and you don't want even worse lines than you need. So I will add just a little bit of hair. Sorry, not hair. Wow. Heat. Do not add hair to your vinyl. Okay, and I'll let it cool down. The one thing I've noticed is I've been letting the material cool down first before I actually start laying it, because if you try squeegeeing it right after you heat it, it'll leave lines even worse. So, okay. Kind of pull down a little bit. We're going to go ahead and relief cut right here, because I'm going to pull towards this corner, so just cut it out and continue on. So now, as you can see, now that I've relief cut it right there, it's a lot more relaxed. It's not going to keep wanting to pull back over there. Okay. Alright. I'm try and bring this down as much as I can. Relief cut once more. and make sure that when you are relief cutting it, the one thing I do is called J cuts. And what that does is, instead of trying to do a line like that, because if you do a line like that and you start pulling this way, it'll separate and it'll actually continue on and you'll rip your vinyl and you'll be really mad. Don't do that. So J cuts are really nice because you pretty much round out your cut, and then now it'll also allow you to move out this way without tearing on you. Okay, put a little bit there. And continue very slowly feeding the material. Another thing that I also did prior to installing this material is I waxed my panel. Now, I don't really know how well waxing a panel helps with VinylFrog, but it is something. Normally, with regular vinyl wrap, I'll try and wax as much as I can. That way it'll eliminate most of my problems with adhesive lines. As for VinylFrog so far, that is not the case. But I figured I'd do it just in case. Okay. And then I am just pulling towards this corner. There you go. Oh, a little bit lower. There you go. So now that this side is laid, we're gonna pop it, I guess. Don't even pull that hard. Okay, bring it back down here. Pop this up. And finish this corner off. Just like that. Cool. That is one portion laid of the quarter panel. Now we go ahead and move over to this side. And we're going to pretty much repeat the same process. Without going too crazy over here, what we'll do is we'll continue on right up to this point where the tail light ends, and then we'll start lifting this up, still not pulling any material over here, because what we'll do is we'll do this almost kind of right before we continue to the top. So now imagine if you took off the whole backing off and you have to pop every 5 seconds because it sticks so quickly. I think the tack on this is actually way higher than on Tech Wrap, which is kind of surprising. So essentially all that you're doing right now is just manipulating all the fingers to kind of go where you want them to. Right now you don't really have many fingers because when we originally tacked this portion down, we were kind of keeping tension right here and pulling it out this way. That way it kind of spreads all the other fingers out for you. Less of a hassle. Okay, we have reached the edge of the world right here. That's drift car right there. Okay. Now we relief cut this portion again. Gotta remember your J cuts, and as well as we will relief cut here as well. One thing to note, I did tape off a lot of the parts on here where I know I will be cutting. So we have tape on here, tape all around the moldings out there because you don't want, if you want to cut on it, it'll make your life easier to have tape as a little protective barrier. Okay. Off we go, slowly feeding the material towards this point. Just go ahead and send it. Okay, a little bit of lines.
What was that?
I don't know, what was that?
eBay.
eBay? What? Oh, your phone is over there? Oh. As you can see, still some lines left.
What lines?
Oh, you probably don't see them from this angle, from your angle, but...
Oh, are you talking about adhesive lines?
Yeah, adhesive lines. Yeah. Okay, so and then this portion is pretty cool. This will show you what pre-stretched material will do. So you got a little bit of fingers, right? What you'll do is you'll heat it just a little bit. You can see the material kind of shrunk on itself. I didn't add a crazy amount of heat, but one weird thing I noticed is after you heat up a little portion on VinylFrog, it'll actually continuously keep shrinking for a little bit. And I think that when I originally was just figuring out this material, I'd heat a part up and I'd just straight go for it, you know? And what I realized, it would leave really, really harsh lines, like really strong adhesive lines. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even use that much heat. But as I've been playing around with the material, I've noticed I just heat it up a little bit, let it cool down, and then I can continue on with the squeegeeing.
Is that like chips in the clear?
Yeah, that's all the chips in the clear, like all the like rocks and shit. It's weird. Yeah, I couldn't get it off, and then like this is like, I don't even know what these high spots are, but yeah, I think just the hot tire was just eating away pretty much at this part.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to use a drift car as an example, but
yeah.
Most drift cars aren't one color, so we're trying to make it one color.
We really are. This one had orange and black originally, so now at least it's all one color. And the fenders are fiberglass fenders, and front bumper is fiberglass. So yeah, drift car. Okay, now we continue. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and start lifting up the material from underneath here and bringing it outwards like this, because you want to pretty much, since we laid this part down, we're going to start moving towards here, gradually working up this panel.
So you're talking about you're removing the back material?
The backing, yep, okay. The backing. I'm just running my hand over it just to pick up any dirt. As I have said, I have no tack cloth like I'd want it. I want to. Okay. Nice little technique to help with peeling backing paper off is you want to pull this corner towards yourself, and what it'll do is it'll catch the material and, the backing paper. It'll keep bringing it upwards instead of trying to just pull this way. When you're pulling it outwards, it'll just continue rolling. So, got that side. Okay, and we'll pretty much repeat the same thing on this end too. Just peel it up slowly. I think my cut was a little bit lower on this portion. There you go. Now you just have it all rolled up. Okay. What we're going to do now is bring up this back paper all the way up to this point, and I'm going to trim it, because I don't want this random piece to just be in my way. Okay, I'm going to cut it. Actually, I know exactly how to cut it. A handy dandy tool. Okay. Get underneath there. Hook it up. And out you go. Just like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to pop this up a little bit. Actually, you might not even need to. You might be able to work it out. Okay, just slowly start moving the material out from the center and to your corners. Okay, there we go. Just like that. Normally, you'd want this portion to be stretched outwards so that it actually can lay. With VinylFrog, it's because it shrinks in on itself. It's fine as it is, because when I heat it, it'll just suck right in on itself and lay in that little groove. Okay. Now, kind of keep tension on some of these parts. Okay. So, let it go, and what you'll do is you'll pull just gently. I'm not trying to lay this piece quite yet, but I'm just trying to keep the fingers that were in here kind of pulled out this way. Okay, now we start squeegeeing. So what I'm gonna do is kind of how I did the fingers on the bottom portion. Same thing, and I'm moving them kind of towards the corners. Okay. Some of the fingers absolutely hate me, but it's okay. So what I did right here is I folded it gently on itself a little bit, not on itself, but like made a 90-degree angle, and I'm tacking it to this portion so that it doesn't continuously keep sticking to the panel and then making me rip it off 5,000 times. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Okay. So over here we have the molding, and what we're going to do is we're going to try and get to this molding first. For certain fingers, heat might help. If I can find my heat gun. So if the fingers are not trying to move, not easily moving out for you, just give it a little bit of heat. Let it cool down. I'll let that little area kind of chill out for a little bit as I'm continuously moving out over here. Okay. If you have a bubble that's not wanting to go away, your best bet is just to pop the material again and work it out. I've noticed that for some really small bubbles, it looks as if it's a little dirt speck, but then next thing you know, I pop it back up, and it was just an air bubble. It's kind of weird.
Just for a newbie, you said pop the material. That sounds like actually puncturing vinyl.
Sorry. Lift up the material. Don't pop it. Don't put holes in the material. Okay. material shrink a little bit. Let's go back to this little spot. So that's the random weird part is, so when you have a situation like that, hold back more. You're gonna heat it up again.
Describe what you're doing.
Right now I'm just kind of keeping it off the car. I heat it up and I make sure the fingers are shrinking kind of equally. So depending on, I don't know, no real technique here, just pretty much keeping the material off. Okay. Okay, so I'm still having the same problem where the fingers are still showing. I'll heat it up again. Okay, and now let's try. Wow, it really does not like me. Okay. Alright, well at least we got some of the fingers that were here out. We just have this random little section to figure out. So heat it up again. Okay. Same thing, kind of keep it off the car. So kind of lifting it up a little bit, keeping it off the car will help it cool also if you do little movements like that. Okay. Okay. Now let's see, where is our edge? Right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it kind of closer to there. So see where your edge is right there. And go ahead and do your little rounded off corner. Cool. Now at least you have a little bit better access. Okay. Coming back to this little tricky area. It might be easier for you to stand on this side and do this because I'll be coming at it from this angle. Okay, gently move the fingers around, kind of bringing them back in. This material requires a lot of patience. Okay. Okay, see where we are? Okay. Let's go ahead and separate the two. So what we'll do is we'll focus on this little section on its own, but let's go ahead and bring all these around. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to swap places with you because I'm going to go do this side now. I heat all of this up again. Nothing too crazy. I'm just kind of moving the heat around, letting it shrink and whatnot. Okay. We have not a lot, not much to get to. Okay, start working these little fingers out by pulling. What you want to do is you also kind of want to work in a little triangular motion where you're not just going to go straight at the fingers. You want to kind of go to the side. What that'll do is that'll move the material around for you instead of just trying to go right towards it. Just like that. Move all of these guys up. Always fix that little guy. Okay. Almost there. Okay. So going up this pillar, I am just moving the material side to side. Nothing crazy except for squeegeeing over fingers and then ruining it. Okay. All right. Going back over here, let's bring this out. We're gonna start pulling the material, the backing paper again. Peel it back a little bit, just enough so that we can create a little bit of tension. We do this out. Okay. Go back in here. Always make sure to tell the fingers that they're worthless and you don't like them, and then they'll come back into your life and they'll just catch under your squeegee and file for divorce type shit. So just, I think my tip, be really kind to your fingers, these fingers, not your hand fingers. Otherwise, you'll just hate your life doing this car. Mm-hmm. Speaking from experience. Okay. So I'm gonna relief cut it here. It's a little close up top, so I'm gonna try and bring the material out that direction. Okay. See if this works. So I was getting a little short over here. What I did is I heat up this portion and I kind of kicked it up this way, so it'll have a little finger here, but when you pull, it'll kind of start glassing all this out for you. So hopefully we're going to be able to kind of make this work. Now going back here. There you go, that worked. Okay, now we continue on to the rest of the car. Don't have much left, just have this little portion of the pillar Make sure you have no massive dirt specks everywhere. Okay. Notice how I'm still trying to keep the back paper on as much as I can, just so that I'm not having it stick to this section completely. So I'm able to still move it around instead of trying to fight it. Oh my God. Okay. Pull a little bit and wrap. Okay. Okay. Nice and easy. So sections like this, I'll lift it up a little bit and I'll try and feed it into this little groove. So I guess, let me see if I can show you how it looks like. So on BMWs, it's this random little window trim that has a gap in there. And so,
like a little water drain thing?
Yeah, pretty much. A little water drain. And what I'll do is, instead of just trying to wrap over and just do it like that, you want to make sure that you lift it up and make sure it's not touching that window trim, and you'll kind of hold it upwards and feed the material in there. That way it's nice and relaxed in there instead of under tension. Okay, move up here. Trim this piece up. Okay, now we have the final run. VinylFrog sticks to glass so well, it makes your life miserable. Now gently follow this line right here, so feeding it into the groove. Okay, release it from there. Okay, now you want to cut, actually snap your blade. Okay. And then cut off all this excess piece so it stops sticking to the glass. Okay. Okay, now as you're coming down over here, because the piece still continues all the way in there, and we're not trying to do a crazy every inch type of coverage on this car, as it is a dark color underneath. We're just pretty much gonna feed it towards in there. Normally you'd want to loosen up this fender piece so that you're able to wrap as much as you can in there, but in this case it's a black car and it's a drift car, so I'm not trying to create super crazy show car quality. I mean, we're trying, but nothing too wild. This is when the bubble is just stuck and it has no other way of getting out. Remember, in that, if you have a situation like that, just peel back the material again, make sure it goes over where that bubble was, and squeegee it back out. Okay, there you have it. Now we'll just kind of get as much as we can in there, and now we're gonna start trimming. Hooray! We have wrapped a quarter panel. Now, material is really cool, tacky, really likes to stick to everything, and anything. It will also pick up a lot of dirt if you are not prepared for it. So if you are trying to wrap this outdoors, it'll just suck everything from everywhere. So try and keep your area clean, sweep. It might even help if you spray the floor with some water. That'll also pretty much help. One other thing too is if you have a really bad adhesive line, for example, something I have noticed that you're able to fix that without creating more adhesive lines, which is really cool. Most of the times, if you try and lift up a piece of regular material, it'll leave another mark. So this stuff, you pick it back up, heat it, let it cool just a little bit, you're able to squeegee it out and not have really much problems. So it's somewhat forgiving, somewhat not. Yeah.